So in this session, let's see how we can use the road intersections in our procedural road system. So this is the content. Basically, I'll show you what the crossroads and T intersections. So these are some two types of intersections that we have in our system currently. And then let's see how we can configure those stuff according to our requirements and how we can attach those to the existing road splines on our level. Right, so this is my level which has some roads, but I think it would be better if we create a new level so that we can see how the intersections works over there. Right, so I'll create a new level, which is I'll simply create an empty level, and maybe I'll save that into the maps directory called map underscore intersection. Right. Okay, so currently there is nothing. So let's simply add some sort of a landscape with this material. And so the level is there, but currently I can't see any sky or anything. So for that, let's simply drag and drop this TOD manager there. So the sky has been appeared. And similarly, let's use this level manager, NPC manager, and weather manager as well. Okay. So usually if whatever the level that you are referring, make sure it has both 4 of these managers over there. Okay, now let's see the intersections. So if you go and check out the procedural road system under the blueprints directory, we have procedural road, and there we have a dedicated folder called intersection, and here I have those intersections, right? So either you can drag and drop this stuff to here and connect the road, or else the recommended way is first create a road and spawn an intersection over there, right? So let's follow that recommended way. But before that, actually, let's place let's play a start actor as well. Zero position. No, not the zero. Maybe our landscape is a bit higher here. It's on the 100 position. That's fine. Maybe over here. Right. And then let's place a road. Let's drag and drop our blueprint over here. And maybe I'll increase its length a little bit like this. Maybe I will use two-way road with sidewalks. Okay. So here is our road. And then let's just say I need to spawn an intersection over here, right? So there are two types of intersections. We have crossroads and we have T intersections, right? But first I will spawn a crossroad, and then let's see how we can do the same thing for the T intersections as well, right? So here under the setup intersection for the road, we have an intersection type that can be selected. So if you take a look into those stuff, we have a CR one way, CR two way, which means crossroads for one ways and crossroads for two ways. And similarly, we have T intersections for the one way roads and two way roads, right? So all of those stuff has been configured at this data table. So you can go there and look at their configurations as well, right? Okay, so in order to spawn an intersection, first you have to select the appropriate type at here. So in my scenario, I'm using a two-way road with sidewalks, which means I have to select the CR with two ways. After that, you can click this spawn intersection button. So the intersection will be appeared automatically over here, right? So it doesn't matter actually what sort of a road rotation that you have, what sort of position that you are currently in. If you select the correct intersection type and click that spawn intersection button over here, it will appear the intersection like this, right? Right. So now you can see we have 4 different openings to plug our rods. So by default, the C1 is actually connecting to this rod, but we have openings for C3, C4, and C2 sockets, right? So let's see how we can spawn rod on C3 maybe. So all you have to do is select the intersection and at the connector socket, select that specific socket. So in my scenario, it's C3, and after that, simply click the spawn rod on connect. So you can see the rod has been spawned, but it should be two-way with sidewalks. So currently it's just a one-way. So simply select the rod and select it type for the two-way with sidewalks and refresh it. Right. So now you can see there is a rod as well. Right. Also, you can't spawn a rod again with this specific socket because this socket has been already fulfilled, right? So maybe you can try out with the C1 socket. So the C1 is actually connected to this rod. So if you try to spawn a rod on the connector, it can't spawn the rod, right? Because there's a rod over here. So I have added some debug capabilities as well. So if you select this debug rod trace, you may able to see how that tracing happens on runtime, right? Okay, so again, let's just say we have to attach a rod to this specific intersection, right? So currently we are spawning a rod to this intersection, but let's just say we need to attach this intersection to a dedicated rod. So we can do that as well. So for that, maybe I'll duplicate this rod like this. Okay. So let's just say I need to attach this socket to this rod. So all I have to do is first I have to select the specific socket. So the socket is basically C4, right? No, it's C2. So let's select the socket for C2 and let's click this attach to rod button. So you can see there is a trace happen because I put this debug rod trace as true, and after that trace it simply detect this specific rod and it simply plug this rod to this specific socket, right? But as you can see, if you are trying to manually attach the intersections to a dedicated rod, make sure their alignments are properly set, otherwise these sort of misalignments can be happen. Okay, so I would recommend to spawn a rod from the intersection onwards, so the alignments will be 100% accurate, but it's totally up to you. Either you can follow that automated fashion or you can follow the manual attachment like this, right? But anyway, I would reconnect the C4 to this rod, attach to rod. Okay, so by default it's trying to attach the rod to the end position, but that's not what we need. So maybe let's try to attach this to this rod, which is C3 point. Right, and the attachment is fine. And after that, you can spawn rod on maybe C2, right? And also C4, right? Then I can select both of these rods and change its type to the two-way with sidewalks and refresh it. right, something like this. Right. So this is a four-way intersection and they has been aligned properly, right? So there is no spacing or no misalignments, and there are four different roads: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and so those are the crossroads, and I'll show you the T intersections as well. Maybe I will move these to here. Right, for the T intersections, maybe I will use a one-way road. Okay, so let's paste the road blueprint over here, and maybe over here let's spawn a T intersection. So as the intersection type, I will choose T intersection with one way and spawn an intersection. So currently you can see it appears the T intersection, but it doesn't have those sidewalk segments over here, because by default this road doesn't implement any sidewalks. So that the default spawn, it detects what sort of a road type that you are currently having, and it spawn the appropriate type of intersection over here, right? But I would prefer having a road and then T intersection with sidewalks. So either you can enable those sidewalks over here like this, or else you can delete this intersection and you can change this one's type for one way with sidewalks, and you can spawn it back, right? Both of them would work pretty much fine, but yeah, this is the manual way. Anyway, so since our intersection is now having sidewalks, let's change the road types with one way with sidewalks as well, and let's simply refresh it. Okay. Or maybe I will change this to sidewalks with rails, right? And here so now we need rails to be appeared on the intersection as well, right? So here if you check out the rails section, we have the capability to add rails for 3 of these corners, right? So let's add rails like this, right? The same thing can be done for the crossroads as well. So if you select the crossroad, and there also we have the rails over here, right? So you can either enable it or disable it based on your requirements, right? After that, you can spawn the road on these sockets. So C3 and C2 sockets are free. So what you can do is you can change the connector type to C2, spawn the road. This one is C3 and spawn the road. And I'll change their type to one way with sidewalks and rails and refresh it. And let's increase their spline length. Okay, so this is one way with a T intersection, and they have sidewalks and rails. Okay, right, so that's about the road intersection. And one thing to notice is that again all of these intersections follow this data oriented fashion. So we have dedicated data table to record all the road intersections that we require, and each intersection has their own dedicated instance like this, right? So you can check it out as well, and all of them actually inherited with the appropriate parent classes. So we have, like for the T intersections, we have T interface, which is the parent class for the T intersection, and the T intersection is inherited from the intersection base, which means a parent class for all the intersection types, such as crossroads, T intersections, Y intersections, things like that. Okay, and one thing to notice is that so if you need to plug a custom mesh, a custom intersection mesh, make sure they have properly configured their socket locations as well. Okay, so the socket location means if you check out one of these connector meshes, right? So here you can see we have these connector locations. We have connector 1, connector 2, and connector 3. So essentially these are the socket transformation that we require to properly plug the rods to the appropriate places of the intersection. Okay, so in case if you have a custom mesh as the road intersection, make sure to configure the socket locations the proper way, right? So you can either add a socket or remove a socket from here, and after that you have to maybe construct a new actor instance like this, and over there you can configure those sockets, right? For the socket configurations, you have to refer for the actual parent instance, right? So at the parent instance, if you go to the construction script, we have the socket related configurations like this, right? But anyway, those are some additional stuff. So in case if you're trying to implement your own stuff on top of our procedural road system, you have to do some modifications. But anyway, everything is pretty much modular and pretty much cleaner. You can do those stuff pretty much quickly. Right, so those are the road intersection session, and in the next one, let's see how we can use the weather and time of the day on top of our road system. Okay, so I'll see you there. Thank you.